All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Unidentified Podcast. Today we're gonna be talking about leader of the Wagner Group, Prigozhin. Right? Am I saying that right, Ed?
Sounds good.
Okay, good enough, I guess. And before we even start with a video or anything like that, Ed, can you tell us a little bit of who he is as a person before anything else?
Well, I hit up chat, my AI buddy, and it pretty much told me that he's known as Putin's chef, and this is because Prigozhin, he used to be Putin's chef. He actually used to cook for Putin. I guess I would assume it's their equivalent of the White House they got over there in the Kremlin somewhere. And from there, he just started different business ventures. What I got here? He's just a Russian businessman. Says a colorful past. He started out in the food industry. He went to the media, and from there he went to private military companies. The actual leader of the Wagner Group is some other Russian guy, Yutkin or something like that. Is the actual leader. And I'm thinking like leader as in the guy who's actually down on the ground, military strategy and things like that. But Prigozhin was the guy who was financing the whole thing and kind of running it from like a high level, business type of, on that level. And he's also like a billionaire. The guy like is, really, a really successful guy, but he's crazy. He lost his mind. This guy's like in combat there with the troops. And it's like, why are you there? Like, you're like this billionaire, really successful billionaire, but you're like hanging out in war zones. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah. He's Putin's like right hand man, kind of like he's thought of as like Putin's like one of his buddies, and he helped Putin out and Putin helped him out, and that's kind of how he got his position and got all his money.
Sounds a little like corruption to me, but okay, I get it.
I don't see how. I think you're just saying that because they're Russian. I think you're just yeah, totally uncalled for.
Okay, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not traveling and no planes anytime soon. Listen, before anything, okay. So what I actually found is that yes, he was Putin right hand man.
Yeah.
And he would trust him enough even to cook him like personal meals and everything. Like that's how much he trusted this person. Okay. But I did also hear that he was involved in these movements and these military movements. You're telling me he wasn't in the military at all?
No, he
How is
ran.
that?
He financed the Wagner Group. He was like the head guy, but he wasn't military. Like he's the business side of it. Is what I'm getting.
I heard he was strategy man. How can I say that?
Like you're
Strategist
thinking
or
like
tactical.
like a
Tactical.
like you're trying to say like a general, but like for like a private military corporation, the equivalent of a general.
Yeah, for like a private team, actually. Yeah, like the guy who tells people how they move and how they,
Yeah,
and therefore that's
could be.
also something that puts him in a very trusted position as well, which means you know a lot of information, you have a lot of secrets, you are the holder of several secrets. I'm guessing, or I don't have a better way of putting that for it to be more clear. And and I think 2018, somebody actually asked Vladimir Putin um, if he's able to forgive. And I guess after thinking about it for a few seconds, he said yes, but there's a few things that are not, I'm not able to forgive. And guess what? One of those things was
I would assume it would be betrayal, right?
betrayal, treason, and of any kind. Okay, which I can identify with. I'm very loyal, but it's very hard for me to forgive those who cross me.
Can
like
I
that's
cut in?
one
Can I
of
cut in real quick? I did look up some, like, chat helped me out here. It says, I asked it, did the leader of the Wagner Group have a military background? And it says, interesting question, Edward. Contrary to what you might expect, Prigozhin doesn't have a formal military background. He is a businessman through and through. His early years were far from the halls of military academies. He even spent some time in prison for fraud. It's his business acumen and his close ties to Putin that have propelled him into the world of private military companies and international entry. Quite the unconventional path of power, don't you think?
Okay, so there you have it. What did I say? It sounds a little bit like corruption. Okay. Oh, and you like doubted me, bro.
Okay, all right.
Once again, Edward. Once again. Now we forgive corruption, but not betrayal. I mean, if you know a person is corrupted and this is what they involve in, shouldn't come to any surprise to you. But like I said, it sounded like corruption. And what was your little slight comment over here?
Corruption isn't corruption. Depends on what we're talking about here.
Okay. Fair enough. Because it depends on what field we are playing. I get it. But to me, somebody who cannot be trusted, and that's.
Let me explain. Like, can I give you an example? Because I heard like people who were like, because you have like a lot of these Russians who made a lot of money and they were criticizing, especially Putin, right? And they said one of the ways like these guys made their money is when you had companies like your Apples, your Amazons, whatever, these American companies that will come into Russia to do business. They say, okay, you can have access to this market, but we want our cut too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But is that really corrupt though? It's like, I get it, that's corrupt, but it's like
the culture is to bribe.
Yeah, I get it, it's corrupt, but
it is corruption. Yeah. But no. I also see what you mean as well. But yeah, there's many ways of corruptions, and that's not the worst type of it. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like this guy had his hands full. He had his hands involved in so many things. Okay. But beyond that, okay, and I know we taking this lightly, and I know I don't care who you are, what you did, or whatever, but rest in peace to this man, because as in, I can't remember what day it happened. Ed, can you look that up?
What?
But a video surfaced of him in an airplane just.
Oh, the.
You know, the airplane actually coming down, and nobody survived the accident. Okay, we want to watch the video. Are we able to watch the video real quick?
The last one, the one that you weren't sure about.
No, whichever you want to show. Why not? Yeah, just look it up.
I try and go to the part that I think is good here.
Is this something that's going off over there, Negayan? Real quick.
Yeah. It's something that really got to the news and every. Way they could.
Is it a big deal? Like, is there people upset or people happy or well deserved type of thing, or neutral, or is it just news?
It's news as in something related to Russia and Ukraine and the guy that is at war, and I think the fact that he is his second hand or his somebody he trusts.
I was wondering, like,
him and then went down in a plane. Like, is that coincidence? Like, they leave a little gap for somebody else to fill in.
Well, okay. We going back to that in a second.
You want to play this video real quick?
No. Ed, what were you gonna say before?
No, I was gonna ask you, why are you like, why the interest in this character here?
Okay. So even before we watch the video. So first of all, I thought, like, is this like an American thing? Is this like a secret, mission type of thing? Is this coming from the Ukrainians? And then I found out that recently he was actually in a march, right? Marching and throwing dirt on Putin's name, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that situation real quick?
Well, the West, you got to remember, it's a lot of propaganda, a lot of, twisting the facts. And basically what they're trying to claim is that he was staging a coup against Putin, which he kind of did, but that's not really what it was. but they
Well,
oversimplify.
that's why I didn't want to like define the situation itself, because I know I may not have the right information, so I don't want to throw that out there. So what you think this is? I mean, you saying
No, he did. There was a coup, and they were like, actually, I think they made it all. They were like in Moscow. There were shootouts and all that, and they're like, yo, like he's really going after Putin. He's gonna take Putin down for us. But it wasn't really the issue. He had a beef with the general that was in charge of the Ukrainian military operation. The general, I think his name is Shoigu, and him and Shoigu, they never got along. So he thought that Shoigu was sandbagging and was taking losses in Ukraine on purpose to sabotage the war effort. And so Prigozhin was trying to take out Shoigu because he thought Shoigu was the one who was betraying Putin. It wasn't really a coup. But the West is saying, oh, they're fighting. Oh, they must be fighting. They want to take down Putin to try and make it seem like the Russians aren't holding it together, which they kind of aren't. You know, if you got this going on, this shouldn't be happening at all. But yeah. So now people think that Putin may be behind killing this guy.
Yes, and that's why I have an interest in that. Like, is that a fact? Like, you think? Well, let's get back to it. Let's watch this video real quick and just make something out of it.
The missing wing then bursting into flames north of Moscow. With unusual speed, Russian aviation authorities announced the mercenary boss was among the 10 people who died in that crash. Wagner social media channels claim the jet was shot down. There's been no official word from the Kremlin, but President Biden said he was not surprised.
There's not much that happens when Russian troops not behind.
Kremlin watchers wonder if this was the moment Prigozhin signed his death warrant. That audacious mutiny, an unprecedented challenge to Vladimir Putin. The former convict had a meteoric rise from Kremlin chef to warlord, spreading Russia's influence in Syria and Africa. As a close Putin confidant, he appeared untouchable, even laughing about his inevitable death. We'll all go to hell, but in hell we'll be the best, he jokes. Prigozhin has made his billions plundering natural resources on the African continent. And last year, he came to Putin's rescue in Ukraine, throwing convicted murderers and thieves into the bloody battle for Bakhmut.
Okay, can you back it up real quick and try to find like the actual like footage of the airplane in the air? No, I think it's a little, I don't know. Just mute it real quick.
No, it's not there, because that was like as soon as she was done talking, it went right to the explosion.
Well, you know where you started it. Okay, it's fine. It's not that important. Okay, but this actually like video footage of the airplane going down, and right after that, people ran to the scene, right? And as soon as they made it there, they declared that they actually saw that there was bullet holes, you know what I mean, in the aircraft. And that this was no accident. It was indeed an attack. Okay. Now, like I said, I wondered, was it by the Americans, Ukrainians, or whatever? But now I suspect that might have come from Putin himself.
I've also heard some military people say that it could be because they were transporting weapons and ammunition, and they didn't pack them away properly. And if you jostle them around, they could have went off. So it could, yeah.
Yeah, but how would that explain just losing a wing, first of all?
Oh, bro, once you have an explosion, like who knows what happens like after that? Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. But
I mean,
okay, so,
I don't see how this guy would even be alive after doing what he just did. Like, how are you still alive, bro? Your next move should have been to get out of Russia after that one.
Oh, but this was like just outside of Russia that all of this happened. I don't know if you know that. Like it was very close.
Yeah, it was in what, Belarus? Like you should be trying to get as far away from them as you possibly can. Like how are you alive after that? I'm surprised this guy was living this long.
Fair enough. Nagayan, what you got?
Yeah, that's what I heard here in the news. Is basically what is being said, that they're leaving the blanks as in if Putin did it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I would say, yeah,
okay, go for it.
it wouldn't make sense after having heard what Ed said, that the coup wasn't really a coup towards Putin but somebody else in the military. Then
They did a great job selling that he was a traitor, actually, right?
yeah,
To me, that immediately didn't make sense because you would never betray Putin. Like that doesn't make sense to betray Putin.
Okay, real quick before we continue. For those who don't know, the reason I go back and forth from Ed to Nagayan is because me and Ed actually live in America and we have a perspective of things, but Nagayan actually lives in Europe. He's in Amsterdam right now, right? And I just want to see what's being pushed out there. You know, what's the idea? What people are saying, and from there connect the dots. I think it actually helps to have this and that as well. But Ed is saying that he wouldn't think he would betray Putin. But why wasn't he under his protection then? If they were cool and everything was fine, why wasn't he under his protection then? Like, because it seemed like they was distant lately, right? Or is that just from what I found? I mean, is that what people just want me to think, or is that a fact?
What? Like what you mean under his protection? Like he messed up.
Because they were moving totally different from each other. Like Wagner was doing this thing, and Putin is over there doing something.
No, that's
different.
not how that works, man. Wagner is the I guess the primary, just the main private military corporation of Russia. They take orders from the Russian military.
Also his right hand man, right? That's what everybody's saying, right?
That don't mean they're buddies. Like they gotta hang out all the time. Like what are you talking about?
Do you understand what I'm asking again?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
so where is that? Like, where is, like, why didn't Vladimir come out speaking about this? Why?
He did. He talked about it. He talked about the betrayal. He talked about like this can't be tolerated, and there's going to be swift action, and they'll be dealt with. Yeah.
For what I heard him saying, it sounded like he wasn't like directed to like as like my friend type of thing. Like, nah, my guy, we're gonna figure out what happened to my guy or anything like that. He was like,
bro, when you messing up like that, bro, it's
well,
like
somebody was translating, right? But so may not be translating the emotion he was feeling or something, and he was sad.
Bro,
what are you telling me then?
It don't matter if that was his flesh and blood brother. It don't matter. You messing up like that, like you just got to be dealt with. We already in the middle of this conflict, fighting the Americans and NATO.
So yes or no, was he dealt with or not?
Apparently he is. He's been dealt with.
By who?
Could have been a mistake. Could have been Putin. The guy's dead. There you go.
So I tell you, I think it was him, and you telling me it wasn't, and now he.
No, I'm saying we don't know. I mean, it probably was. It could have been.
I believe it was. I mean, but
I didn't hear him make a statement on it saying, "Hey, yeah, well, he was dealt with." I didn't hear that.
No, he didn't say that. But being very dismissive is what I'm saying. When it comes to your right hand man, I mean, like very plain words, very.
Bro, this is Putin. This is a really serious dude, man. Like this is like a top tier dude.
Fair.
This ain't like no Biden or no Obama. Those dudes we got. No, this dude is legit.
I can see that. You're right. I wasn't considering that as well. Show
no weakness, no nothing.
no weakness. There you go. Talking about weakness, this is one thing I've been wanting to freaking mention, right? Talking about weakness. Tell me. How, I don't know. I can't get over this. Joe Biden, you see him out there?
Yeah, what has he got? He's got his ice cream cone or something, whatever he got. Yeah,
Bro,
I'm seeing him.
It's a little embarrassing. But I keep saying this, it shows you that it's not what we think. He's not in control. He's just that dude that's out there. That's pretty much it. I don't want to make this into a Joe Biden thing, and I don't hate Joe Biden or anything like that. It's not what it is.
You better not hate him. You the one who went out there and voted for him. Better be happy with what you got.
I'm fine. I didn't vote for that dude. And I never voted, so it's nothing against him. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think this was inside job. I mean, and I can see why it would be. I can see why this is the way that things would have been, like the outcome of the things that happened. I can see why or how we would come to this conclusion. But that's probably just me. Nagayan, tell me 3 things that you do not forgive.
That I do not forgive. Damn, that came out of nowhere. I do not forgive. I do not forgive someone. No, I do. I'm a very forgiving person. Let's start with that. But or tolerant person. By the way, Andrew Tate says that's not the good way to go about it. But I do not forgive. Is it treason? No. I don't have anything. I don't forgive. If you lie to me, I could forgive that. I feel.
Yeah, there's so many like things that might depend on, like your past relationship with the person, things that you've been through.
Okay. And that's cool, but define it as it speaks to you, Nagayan. Like do your best as to like define what it is to you, what it is that you do not forgive, why, or give me a scenario, or however it's easier for you to express that real quick.
Yeah, real quick. I do not forgive. Oh yeah, I'm not forgiving of people that take advantage of little children.
Like sexual advantage, or
Yes.
Put them out in the street to sell drugs, or all of the above.
It was primarily sexual I was thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah, if you exploit children, that's also not good. But I can understand situations where it's no other choice, and sometimes it's for the better of the family. But no, exploitation in terms of sexual, then you have me turning all buttons red, and that.
Okay.
And then that no matter who it is, no matter where, no matter
What the excuse, what the reasoning. I got you. Next one. If you only got 2 at school.
Oh Jesus.
Of course.
If you kill someone I love, or try to hurt someone I love.
So you wouldn't be that type of dude that, like, if somebody kills somebody you love and then they come back like I converted to Jesus, like I'm a different person now.
No.
Okay. It's done.
Once you can go, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Ed?
What don't I forgive?
Tell me 3 things you would not
Well,
forget.
ain't no 3 things. I ain't got 3 things.
Okay, tell me a few things you would not forget. 1, 2, 3, half
I don't
one.
think about it. You know what I mean? I don't. It's like,
You
I
don't
mean,
have to
what
think about it.
what
You
would
know-
I forgive?
you know
Like,
who
I would say if
what
you
your
take advantage of people who you know can't defend themselves, sort of like the same thing with taking advantage of children. But I would expand it out. If I see that you prey upon people who can't defend themselves, I think that's probably the worst things that I see that I can see someone else doing.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that'd be it.
Okay.
Because
So-
that's a lot of things there. It's a lot.
Tell me one thing that's, in your opinion, and just your opinion, punishable by death. Like, you did this, we gotta get rid of you.
Treason would be one of those things. Yeah.
Okay. Narayan? The family thing?
Yeah, but that would be in self, like, because it's someone I
Would
love.
have to be self-defense.
Yeah, but this question, like, it doesn't make sense because, like, you can't compare us to, like, a world leader like Putin, because when he's making decisions, he's got to make decisions for all of Russia, for all of his people. It
understand.
can't be personal. Like
Yeah.
someone like Prigozhin, you have to kill him at this point. Like, this guy, he's got too much power, too much influence. He knows too much, and he's acting against you. And
Which
you got
was my point all along.
and
You remember?
what?
That was my point all along. The whole time, this is what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I believe as well.
That
You gotta go at that point. No. I just believe, like, at that point, you just, like, messing around way too much. You dancing against what we, you were my right hand man at some point, and now you just, like, But that was it for this. I mean, thank you for watching. I think rest in peace to those people. I don't care who you are. I hope they were able to repent the last minute. I don't know if that really works like that. I have my doubts on how God deals with things, but that's just under my ignorance. Okay, I still don't understand life itself, or even less than that, death, or how God works itself. Is way too complicated for me. So, but therefore, I hope they end in a place that best suits them, and I hope their souls rest in peace regardless of what happened. From my behalf, that was it.
That guy,
You guys have-
that guy was crazy. It's crazy. He could have been just chilling the rest of his life. He didn't have to do none of that. He was already a billionaire. Like, what are you doing?
He was out there looking for his adrenaline, man. This is
I
what
guess
was
so.
driving him.
I guess
Or
so.
Yeah, I
maybe
mean-
he was trying to desperately right his wrongs in his perspective.
Like, you hanging out in war zones and all this? Like, come on, bro.
I mean,
Too old for that.
I read somewhere he likes the power, he likes the money, but moreover, what motivates him more is the chase.
Yeah.
So actually being out there, that makes sense. Still going on with doing stuff that he doesn't need to do, but yeah, hands-on, diving in, go for it, and if it works, it works. If it works against you, then yeah, that's the risk he's taking.
Agreed.
If it was an accident, accidents happen. If it wasn't, that's I think time will tell if we get to know the secret files.
Bro, I don't see how he was alive that long. Like, how were you alive after you even did that? Like, I thought he just, I don't know.
But it goes to show that it pays to be patient. I mean, just wait long enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw another twist. So you said this happened in Belarus. That's NATO territory, by the way. So might have been NATO or the US having some involvement in.
Like I
maybe
said,
some-
that's what I was thinking at first too. So who knows? I just was like, in my opinion, if that was the case, like I was expecting, you know, Putin to come out and say a little more, but show no weakness. And I'm aware he's like that type of dude. All right. I think we're done. Thank you for watching Unidentified Podcast.
We out.
Yeah.
We out.
See you in the next.